All right, last week I finished the Book of Mormon again and I was starting over. And sometimes it's a little hard to start over, right? Because you're like, I've read 1 Nephi 1:1 1,000 times. But I even learned something this time, and I want to share it real quick. Nephi says, having been born of goodly parents, therefore I was taught in the learning of my father, and having seen many afflictions in the course of my days, nevertheless having been highly favored of the Lord in all my days. Now, I've talked about this before, how cool it was. Like, I had a lot of trials, but I was highly favored. That's why I had all the trials, because then I came to know Jesus, right? So we love that part. It's good. Nevertheless, totally blessed. But the next part is a kicker that I think sometimes I've forgotten. And it says, yea, having had a great knowledge of the goodness and mysteries of God. And this, I think, is key, because when afflictions come, which they will, when hard times come, when things happen that we don't understand, when we read stuff on the internet, we're like, why did this happen? What's going on? We remember the goodness of God. How has my testimony remained strong all this time? By remembering the goodness of God. When something hard happens, what do? I remember the times that God has answered my prayers. And one time I was kind of forced to read a lot of stuff that I didn't want to read, that was negative about the church. And as I read, this looks like a weird ponytail. It's actually a scuttlefish that my son made, but see, this is what ADHD does to you. Beware. Anyway, topic at hand. I don't even know. Look what that scuttlefish did. It ruined my life. That's what Satan is. He's one big scuttlefish coming out of your hair like a weird ponytail. I don't even know what I was saying. Oh yeah. When I had to read all that stuff that I didn't really want to read. Every time there's like, oh, well, the church spent their money on this. A thing would pop into my mind. Remember when I paid my tithing and that awesome thing happened? Or, well, the Book of Mormon. And I was like, oh, remember when you were reading that day and you felt the Spirit? Guess what, guys? If we want to end our lives like Nephi by saying, I had many afflictions, nevertheless, I was highly favored of the Lord. Because of his goodness and knowing his goodness and mysteries. That's what's going to get us through. We're not going to know the answer to all the questions. We're going to have things happen that we don't understand. And if we just keep turning to Jesus, if we keep opening the scriptures and reading his word and feeling his love, then when the hard times come, the goodness of God is going to pull us through. It's so great.